Welcome back everyone to part 3 chapter 1 of my Fire Emblem 10 hard mode 0% girls playthrough. I am Don1151, joined by Mekkah.
Hey, how's it going?
And this is a neat little chapter in my opinion, but maybe not so for a casual player because its objective is a timed route. You have to kill all of the enemies within a span of 12 turns while navigating Fog of War. So this map combines like 3 of the things that casual players hate the most. But at least from a low turn count perspective, this chapter is pretty interesting. Because of story beats, we do have a couple of partnered yellow units to deal with. Unlike many of the chapters that I played thus far, these yellow units, Lethe and Lyre, are entirely useless and mostly get in the way, as opposed to doing anything that we can really leverage them for. The other thing that makes the chapter interesting is that, similar to 3 Prologue, the enemy stats are tightly curated relative to the blue unit stats because it's so early in everyone's combined availability. So once more, each unit has a particular strengths and weaknesses that dictate where they should go on the map.
For Ike and Shinon, that means they get designated to the top left of the map, Ike being our best one-range combat unit, able to double and survive on his own quite well. And Shinon has similar stats to Ike, of course, but he does 2-range a lot better, so he's going to be tasked with fighting the ranged enemies here. Ike is standing in a particular spot that baits a longbow sniper to attack him from 3 spaces away, but that will be in range of Shinon to kill him next turn. Gatrie is the best unit for taking care of the bottom part of the map, where he visits the blue gem village, and then he's going to take care of all the generals in that area. We don't have the ability to heal him once he's there, because the generals would just go for someone like Reese or Mist. That unit needs to have the bulk to survive, and he also has good enough offense against them. He even has enough speed to double exactly one of them. And the rest of the units are going to be rolling through the rest of the map, because that's where most of the enemies are, in a fashion that's a lot more like 3 Prologue, with Titania taking the lead for her great strength, and her high movement makes her the best frontliner there, but she definitely needs a lot of backup for that.
Turn 1 can be a little bit chaotic, secondary to how cramped the starting area is, with the enemies being in close proximity to where our unit starting positions are, even after we clear out the ones that are in the immediate range of our initial positions, because that means that we cannot extend our frailest units like Reese, Soren, and Mist to their full ranges. Even someone like Rolf, we had just enough units to sort of block him off and isolate him from the enemies. But we also had a Swordmaster that decided to go for Oscar instead of a juicier target, that being Shinon, who wouldn't have countered him. And this is because we gave the Provoke skill to Oscar. This allows him to get wrecked by the Swordmaster's Killing Edge, which is okay because fortunately Killing Edges in this game aren't that strong and Oscar can survive a crit. He needs to get healed afterwards, and a funny thing happens where Reese just gives him a concoction instead of healing him. But he was actually supposed to use his action to heal Titania, it's just that Titania took no damage on enemy phase. The way that Provoke works in this game is still a bit of a mystery overall. It seems to give the user a fixed increase in targeting priority, which can sometimes overcome factors like one unit being able to counter while another unit cannot, because that's one thing that also contributes to a unit's targeting priority on enemy phase. It depends on all the other variables too, so it's not like this is a foolproof way for this to work, but in this specific instance it does, and if it works, then we'll take it.
Yeah, our consistency across units can be a little bit inconsistent, if you will. Ike is peak reliability, he just one-rounds everything he faces or kills them fast enough in the time that he has allotted for it. Titania is also fine, she doesn't need any critical hits or anything, and whenever she doesn't one-round something, one of the other like 6 units that are helping her can make up for that. Someone who is less reliable is Shinon. He doesn't one-round anything from full HP, but he has the killer bow, he has the adept skill still. He also took counter from Titania to add a little bit of extra damage to help him reach a bare miss on a 3-hit KO. Gatrie has the biggest reliability issues in this one. He's using the Commentated right now, which is a bit strange because he has access to stronger weapons like the Steel Poleaxe or the Steel Greatlance, but those have much worse accuracy, and that doesn't pair very well with his somewhat low skill and luck as well as his low biorhythm in this chapter. And the idea with the Commentated is that he's using the Gonzalez theorem. Sometimes he'll miss, but he'll make up for it by critting. He didn't end up critting a single time this time though, but it did give him the best chance of success.
Now, assuming that Gatrie takes care of the general squad in the south with no sweat, proving that he is the best armored unit on this map, there are 2 enemies that I would consider to be the limiting factors for how quickly you can finish this map, and they're both coincidentally halberdiers. One of them is a boss who you can see across the railing where Shinon and Ike are, and the other is a generic enemy halberdier that is hiding in the top right corner of the map. And this guy is a genuine anus. Oscar's going to reveal him so that Titania can attack him, but there's 2 things about him that are particularly annoying. One is that he doesn't move. If you're within his attack range, he won't go out to attack you, you have to find him instead. I've definitely failed this chapter when I was a more casual player, running around not being able to find out where he was. The other element that is really annoying is that his healing AI triggers if he falls even a touch below 50% HP. So in order for this strategy to work, Titania needs to do exactly half his HP in damage so that halberdier will get himself killed on the following enemy phase.
For the boss strategy, what we do is we chip him with Soren, and then Mist will come in to shove him out of the way very brutally to make space for Shinon, who is then supposed to hit him with his bow, and then Ike can finish him off. Shinon ended up hogging the kill for himself, very much in character for him, so we don't get to show that off, but you get the idea, right? Mist came from visiting the Seraph Rope house in the center of the map. Not particularly important that she visits it as long as it's not Oscar, Boyd, or Rolf, because then we wouldn't get the Seraph Rope and instead get some nice dialogue and backstory, which we already know. For Gatrie to route the map at the end, he does need to use one of his stronger weapons. Danon stat checked one of the generals, and if he just had 1 less HP or defense, we could have used the Steel Greatlance for this enemy phase, and got 10 more hit out of it. As is, we had to use Steel Poleaxe, unfortunately, but it does end up working out, and we end up finishing 3-1 in 3 turns. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.